done the intro to VW bit? Is this what this is?
You just started it. You just did it.
So this is the VW one, right?
This is the VW one.
So we got... Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Fucking mad. Right, so Jeremy's
back today.
Jeremy Craigen, not Jeremy Carr, that's his partner. Jeremy Craigen for part 2. So this is just going to be pure streamlined VW.
Yeah. It's a VW special today.
VW special.
What was that?
I don't know. Just like some weird American stand-up. And we did actually talk a bit about VW, that Top Gear thing, but we can.
We can dig more into that Top Gear thing. I mean, it is very funny clip. We'll put it on the
if anybody
we'll put
wants
it on the feed
laugh.
as well.
Jeremy looks really serious in it. It's like never seen him that serious.
But that's the power of editing, right? Is that if having just spoken to him last week, you can tell that they would have wet themselves all the way through that whole incident.
Yeah, and
the BBC have edited it down into something where there's basically got his shaking head going, "Oh God."
Yeah, but because they're not the stars of the show, is it either? They others got so no, it's going to be good. VW. I mean, if there's anyone, it does remind me about our big, without doing anyone down, but some of the guests we have they've just got so much experience and aura and just bigness about them. Jeremy's done this for like 20 years.
For a long time,
This is one of the biggest brands in the world, and he's really, it's a dying breed, I think. So we're really lucky for him to come in, talk about it, and tell us the stories behind the billboards.
Right, go get him. He's there, he's waiting.
Okay.
I can see him.
All right, I'm going. All
go.
Right. See you, mate. Jeremy Craigen. Hello
Welcome
again.
back.
Wow.
Nice to see you.
What's weird? We're all wearing the same clothes.
Fucking hell. How was your week? Was it all right? Did you get away anywhere? Or just what have you been doing? Just mooching around?
School runs.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it? Or
No.
you think you can move away at all to Spain?
Yes. Totally.
Okay, so everyone,
especially this time of year, isn't it? This is when everyone, I need to buy a place in Spain just to get away from this country. Like some hot weather now is what you need.
I literally am like that. I've just...
Wouldn't you miss us, though? Us how...
No, I'd come back. I mean, I'm talking about a potential job in Dubai at the moment, actually.
Oh, okay.
Which I love Dubai. Whether I want to live there is another thing. But, it's only 7
My
hours
mates bought a place. Sorry, we said we're going to get into the podcast. Estepona? Is that not? Mate, he's just bought a pile there, and it wasn't like loads, but it's really, he sent me a photo of it. I was like, fucking hell, he's gone to the old Caribbean again. He's like, no. Just
Estepona.
Yeah.
That's Costa del Sol, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's down. Go to Malaga and then get away.
Yeah, and Malaga's lovely.
Yeah.
Do you know
where's really nice is Alicante. Don't go north to Benidorm, which is awful. Stay in Alicante in the city.
To the travel special
really,
with Jeremy,
really
Hugh
nice.
and Dan.
And Madrid, I went to
Madrid's
a couple of
lovely,
weekends ago. And
Can I top note Lagos in Portugal?
Oh, really?
You read it Lagos, as in Africa, but it's Lagos. It's honestly the best place.
Okay.
Right, anyway,
There we go.
Here we are.
Welcome to the travel podcast.
I mean, I'm hoping this is edited.
No, we definitely don't.
You don't fucking edit it?
No, we don't. So this is part 2, Jeremy Craigen special, VW.
The VW special.
So we're going to do a bit of bigging up. You worked on the brand as a creative director, all of that, Global CCO.
20 years.
20 years, right? So you've created iconic campaigns, every possible model, all the awards, the Top Gear thing we mentioned last week. So, I mean, honestly, if you look back on it, what are you feeling? Are you feeling pride, happiness, relief? Is there anything, that overriding feeling from your time working on it for so long?
I would say fortunate.
Ah, that's nice.
How many cars did they give you?
I had a Porsche.
Aren't they the same engines? Aren't they made at the same place?
Probably, yeah, they're the same group.
There you go.
But, no, I mean, I got to say it was such a privilege to work on that brand. And, when I first joined BNP DDB, I read, remember those great Volkswagen ads, like it was like Bible. But I have to say, I've had so many great clients, so many great account people, and so many great planners on it. It's like,
right.
it's an open net.
Well, it's like
And you said you're friends with the client, and
Yeah, still. I still go out for,
It's like you said about last time about the structure around you, so you know it's going to be, you're going to deliver.
Yeah, and obviously there was a change of account people and stuff like that, but they were just top of the game.
And do you think because it's such a big account for the agency that you had to be at the top of your game to work on that account?
Yes, to be fair.
And like you said, it's a privilege to work on VW, but you have to have done some amazing work elsewhere to get onto the VW account.
Yeah. And, I mean, I have to say I kind of like get quite sad about the quality of the work that I see on VW now. That's not Adam and Eve's fault or anything. It's just the way the world is going. But, and cars are like...
Well, funnily enough, we talked a couple of weeks back to Felipe about the car advertising's really gone down, and things like supermarkets and fast food's really gone up.
Yeah. We were talking about Audi and how Audi had always been kind of at the forefront of outdoor, and they'd gone down a bit. And he was talking about them coming back, and they're coming back to outdoor as the outdoor briefs coming in.
It's funny because with beer as well, we were talking about beer. Those brands which used to be like you were talking about John Smith last time. It's the world's changed a bit, and for the better. Like in certain respects, like Tesco and Burger King with Filippo is fascinating. How good they are, and we were saying in the old days, supermarkets would be like,
Yeah.
But anyway,
apart from Sainsbury's.
Apart from Sainsbury's, yes, actually,
with
Sainsbury's, David Abbott, always, and actually all the others were good. So we're going to start. We're going to talk about VW. Obviously, we're going to talk about Polo first. And before we get into Cops, which is the first one, could you just tell our listeners or people who aren't aware what the strategy was around Polo? What was the line?
Well,
and where did it come from?
It came from a TV commercial that I wrote back in 97, Protection, with Jonathan Glazer, which was, and again, this is about a brilliant kind of strategy from the planner about saying, do a big ad for a small car.
Great.
And it's all about, so small and tough, and so that kind of evolved.
What happened in the commercial, just for listeners who don't know, the Jonathan Glazer spot, just briefly, what happened in it?
Well, is
it a riot or something?
There was a riot. Right. It was all about people making themselves small.
Right.
So there was a riot. There was a guy being attacked by dogs. There was a fire. I mean, literally every day there was somebody injured on the shoot, and I was like, there was a guy on fire at the end, and I was like, oh, I was moved because I was like, let's just do a fire.
Fire on a man.
Somebody ducking down to avoid it, and then there's a guy that's nearly dead,
right? And
I'm going, this is crazy. But that's kind of how the strategy evolved. So it's more from a planner's point of view.
So you make yourself small. The thing there was you make yourself small to make yourself tough.
Well, no, it was like
protection.
Have you ever noticed how protected you feel when you make yourself small? Right. Was like the line at the end of the ad.
Okay.
Like my moving press ad.
Yes.
And so that then went on to,
become the line.
Small and
tough. So just go back a beat. The brief for that TV spot, was the strategy sort of around that, but not in those three words.
I mean, the strategy. I mean, I always loved looking at a brief and not just necessarily looking at some planners try and write a line for you.
Yeah.
But this one was more of a tone of voice.
Yeah. No, because it's a big thing to make it into an advertising line.
Yeah, because like Rich and Andy, because we had this system going on at the time called the DOCS, which was Directors of Creativity, and Rich and Andy were the creative directors on that. And I said to them, I got this thought about, making yourself small Andy kept coming back to me, and then so many people were like trying to make it like a BMP animal ad, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And but it was just a brilliant time on that agency.
So then after that line became, because it's on everything. I'm looking at it now on the Cops Small but Tough Polo, and it's just such a brilliant thing to write to. It's the hardest bit, isn't it? To like, the person who writes, I wouldn't give a 4X for any other beer, or Heineken refreshers, or the Lynx effect. Yeah. And then once you've done it, then everyone's knocking them in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm doing them as a side to service, but this one we're looking at here, Cops. So, was it, and again, just say if you don't remember, but was it presented as part of a creative review? Like, did the team come and say, hey, Jeremy, here's our idea? Or was it a pile of ideas which you went, that thing, you find the gold? Can you remember? Because it was two teams as well. Is that right?
So, yes.
What the hell?
So, no. So, apparently,
yes,
if memory serves me correct, one team had presented it to another creative director like a year earlier, and and it didn't happen. So then I did get a pile of ideas, and it just shone. I mean, and then somebody came. The original team came in going, well, we presented that last year to X and Y.
Were they literally virtually the same?
Yeah.
So again, for listeners, it's a load of cops in America, obviously in some sort of stakeout situation, and they're all it could hide by any car, but they all hide behind the small Polo.
Yeah.
So did you? I suppose that was quite a bit of a kind of awkward situation there. You've got two teams.
Well. Yeah, so you put them both on it.
So for those teams, Nick Allsop, Simon Vexner, Fergal Balance, and Diane Harrison.
Yeah. And, they were all good about it.
They're, like Dan was saying, they're nice, competitive.
Again, back to having a nice, environment. And you go, well, look, at the end of the day,
share the experience.
And they've got Grand Prix at Cannes.
Did you know? Because it's fucking amazing. It's a brilliant shot. It's got the car in it. It does exactly what.
That's why it got the Cannes Grand Prix. Because I know somebody who was on the jury at that time. He said the brilliant thing about this is that the car is at the centre of it. Yeah. It's not just another add-on or whatever. So
it's such a great shot. It feels like it's sort of, I don't know, it's like filmic in a way.
No, it does.
So both teams were involved, and who shot it? Who was the Paul Murphy, right? Because I did notice from my sort of slightly sad football card indexing, there's also another version of it shot straight on, isn't there? More the graphic shit. Was that a press ad or was that a different version?
That's a different version. I mean, that's obviously the best one. The other one is, it's good, but that is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the classic 3/4 shot.
It's just pushed up a bit, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, and we're going to go on to this now.
On to King Kong for Polo. Again, we've got the line in there. Everything hangs off that line, I guess. As the brief.
So there's a story here, isn't there, about how this came to be, right?
It was the same brief as Cops,
right?
But, saw that and was just like, well, we've got to do this too.
In the same pile of ideas original. Okay, nice.
So
it's as if King Kong has trodden on the little Polo.
like a
Lego brick. Yeah, classic.
and as holding his feet. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. And so
what, you went, oh my God, when you got now two?
Yeah. And then we had a brilliant client that would just say, well, we'll run both.
And did they run them both at the same time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're so different, as in, not just in shape, but also in texture. Because, one's a very live moment, like a stakeout.
Yeah.
And this is it's an illustration, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this was Nick and Simon again.
Yes.
Yeah, on their own this time.
Yeah. Good little run.
Yeah.
Well, they're a great team, but they could never edit their work. So I would literally have to see like 50 pieces of work
Oh, really?
to get to a Cops or a King Kong.
That's interesting.
And it's funny because Simon did a blog. I don't know if you're still doing it now.
Yes, I remember that blog. He's one of the first ones, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I mean, they're both absolutely brilliant creatives. There's no doubt about it. But it's funny that you go, I used to say, can you just edit it a little bit? I kind of...
Yeah.
I can't. I don't have the time.
Can't go through 50 of them, yeah.
Every
But did
day.
you secretly know that there was going to be good in there? Because some teams... I remember saying to Phil and Darren, this team, Phil and Darren are very good, and we'd had a bit of advice was don't show me anything you don't want to make, which was a mantra I would sort of take around me. So we used to say that to Phil and Darren, and they used to come in as one piece of paper, but it was always really fucking good.
Right.
And you'd go, great. So we don't, but other teams, like you say, it was a bit half idea, quarter of an idea, over to you, bud. you know. And I suppose that's your job in a certain respect, isn't it? You've probably got lots of light and shade in a department.
Yes. And, I mean, it's really funny. I remember talking to Nick Gill about this, of if you know the team that have done something, you look at it very differently as to the team that you don't know. And so you're slightly biased.
That's what I was going to say. Is it a bias thing then?
Well,
I know they're capable of great work, and I know they can improve.
But you go, but there are so many times you just go, well, that's shit.
Yeah.
From somebody really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And as I said before, I've done my fair share of it. So,
but then that also goes back to the team that you have around you. If you're able to tell them that it's shit and they're not going to be offended and they're still going to come up with other great work, then they respect you for it, right?
I had a shredder in my office.
Is that how you did it? Is it just the drop
Not
in?
live.
The drop shred.
You
Shred
bastard.
it.
Not even like a glimmer of hope. At least Hegarty would put it on a pile with us. Go, not that one. What?
No. Yeah.
The noise of it as well. It's visceral.
But
You are joking. You're not joking.
no, I'm not
You
joking.
had a shredder.
I had a shredder.
Jeremy's shredder. Did you did it have a label?
So, just to be fair, I wouldn't shred everything from a team, but they liked it.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but I would only shred stuff if I knew they had something good there.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
So it would be like, why are you presenting me with this?
clever.
And when we went open plan, it was really bad.
Yeah, because everyone hears the fucking shredder.
they've literally
Who's
been
being shredded now?
That's so funny.
And I had the whole Volkswagen account team literally opposite my desk, and they had all put their
Fucking, not a good meeting. Or if it's silent and going, got some crackers in there.
But
That's
yeah,
so
no,
good.
but I would always, I wouldn't. But it was funny. It's like, you get teams go, oh, you didn't shred it, or they'd love it when you did. Anyway, so that's
Great.
So
It's great. Okay, so we're going to stay on Polo because there's so much good work. So this is another kind of incarnation of the strategy called, it just says protective packaging, and it's an ad shell which has got bubble wrap on it, and it says Polo. So again, that's another move on again, isn't it? It's an ambient piece.
Yeah.
So a bit like we talked about Harvey Nichols a little bit last time, where I'm sure in the back of your mind you're thinking, let's keep surprising the community, the industry, sorry, not community, with a slightly different, a different way in to this the small, tough kind of.
yeah. I mean,
This is Dave Masterman and Ed Edwards, is that right? I think it was.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
We're
is,
looking at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was like one of those open briefs.
Yeah.
A bit like Harvey Nichols' sales and stuff like that, that you go, look, you got this. I mean, it was taken up by even like our Berlin office of like small but tough. They were just going off and doing stuff. It lends itself to being creative. So
It's funny because
I mean, a lot of these are one-offs, by the way.
Yeah.
As you probably know.
Yeah. No. Well,
This one in particular, special. It's a special, right? It's
Yeah,
a
special.
but I think it's openly a special.
No,
isn't it?
no, but that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, funny enough, the one now we're looking at is moved on a bit, but it is literally a frozen car.
Yeah.
So this is something I wanted to talk about. It's not from the small but tough strategy. It's just air conditioning as standard, I think, was the press ad. But I remember seeing this thinking, fuck, it's so well done. It's a piece of ambient. You know, it was literally an iced car weighing tons just put on the street. Do you remember this, Dan?
No.
It's like, do you remember it happening? And like, was there a mold? How the fuck do they do it?
Well, it's interesting because it was done to be a press ad.
Right. Okay, so the press ad was first.
No, the press ad was second.
Oh, right.
But
Sorry.
they did that first to create it, and then that created.
Oh, they did that for the
okay.
press ad,
So-
and then you went, "Oh fuck it, shall we?"
Yeah.
Use
Oh, that's
it.
good.
Well, no, that the outdoor thing is the
Because
contents
the
of
press
the press
ads
ad.
are really,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's that.
okay.
But that. Oh, right. Okay, so that's quite. So on the day, what you've invited down to get some shots of it as a ambient, and
Yeah.
then double bubble.
And then people, yeah. So
It's great. I always found it quite under awarded or quite under awarenessy. I don't know. I can't think of the word, but for such a cool bit of ambient, it felt like it didn't have as much traction as other things.
I think
'Cause it's-
as a business, we've got better at like promoting
Yeah.
stuff like that
Yeah.
than we didn't at that time. We kind of like,
yeah.
and maybe there's a bit of an arrogance of like, oh, you know, it's for Volkswagen.
Why was that? Why was it like that back then?
I don't know. I you know, I go back to like talking about like Top Gear, about like that was basically branded entertainment.
Yeah.
But that category didn't exist then. And so
Yeah.
I don't think
So going back to the Top
ambient-
Gear thing, did you reach out to BBC for that segment to
Yeah.
sit in the?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and that didn't exist then. That's kind of, this is pre. You know, that would have been the stunt part of the idea,
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
That would have been the socializable piece, but that's mainstream TV on BBC and then going worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on that for a minute, because we have got a minute. Did you, Jeremy Craigen, individually write to Top Gear, hello? Or did you go, I'm from DDB, which represents... How did you set yourself up for that? Because you said the client wasn't really involved. Was it just you?
Well, it was, so the other chap on it,
Yes.
Jonathan Hill.
Yes.
I mean, I had the idea about 2 years previously.
Yeah, because you said you'd seen them do an ad.
They did something with some architects, or I can't remember what it was. And I was like,
They'd done their own ad and it was shit. And then you thought, well, why don't we...
no, they
No.
did a parody of Night Drive, actually.
Sorry, right.
But so I spoke to this, you know, the new account manager. I just said, look, you know, I've had this idea about that. Let's get them to write a VW ad. And he got on the phone and found out the name of the producer.
Brilliant.
And apparently the producer said that when he spoke to Jeremy Clarkson, he just went, yes. And, you know, and then that was that.
If you don't ask, you don't get, right?
No, but it was like, I mean, absolutely free advertising. And the funny thing was, because it was like for the Sirocco that they didn't really have a budget for, but being typically Top Gear, they made it the Sirocco diesel because they hated diesel cars.
Right, right, yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, we're really going to sell your car on TV.
You can see them
But
going like that.
you know, in classic Jeremy Clarkson way, though, it's done going, oh, car ads are shit. We're here to make it better, and then it's, you know, revving engines and
and it
screeching tires.
To be fair, though, there were a couple of good ideas in there because he goes, they overtake them, but they'll ultimately lose out
Yeah.
because it's got better mileage. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, the one with the man, I still didn't get the one with the man whose arm is bleeding out. Do you- it's fucking like, and everyone's trying to keep a straight face, aren't they?
Yeah.
And obviously you're trying to, anyway, we're digressing a bit, but yeah, just achievements on VW, just amazing. So we're going to move on now to what Neil, keep saying Neil Dawson, he seems to be quite in my brain a bit, but he's told me many times this is the most awarded print ad ever in the world. It's called Weddings, or Wedding rather.
He keeps telling me that too.
And it did run as a poster and a press ad, and it is fucking amazing. And it is for Polo, but it's a different strategy this time. It's about pricing. So the end line is surprisingly ordinary prices. Sorry, get my teeth in. Which spawned millions and millions of great ads on loads of platforms. But again, I want to go back. Do you remember if that was on the brief or was that an advertising creative?
I wrote surprisingly ordinary prices.
There you go. That's why you get the big bucks and the wine.
But the ads were terrible that I did.
Okay. All right. Okay, we'll forget that.
But we got that line right.
The line's great.
But it's a funny story about Wedding because I've talked about it and when I've done a few speeches and stuff like that,
Right.
which I don't normally like doing. But
Right.
I came back from holiday, and as you are in a fucking bad mood because you're back at work, and then Neil and Clive come in with this ad going, everybody thinks this is great.
It's a kiss of death.
So I go, I don't like it.
Oh God.
But
You're also like, guys, pick your time. Come on.
I know. But I've always said, second chance if you want to, come back. It's not like, as I said, we talked about before about you see so many ideas in a day that it's really sometimes hard, but it's really, I said, just never as a creative, when your boss comes in from a holiday, tell him, I've got a great idea.
And everyone loves it.
Yeah. So
I think that's a
You double down.
So
Oh, no.
you're stupid if you don't like it.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Anyway, I was stupid because I didn't like it.
And it's the most awarded
And
ad.
I did approve it. But I think it has been beaten in awards.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was slightly different to the strategy of surprisingly ordinary prices, but that was when I was trying to be purist about it. But no,
and then it was followed on by many others, which were just they. It's like that all that thing of good ads. When you look at them, you go, "Oh yeah, that's easy," because they just fall out. But they must have. Did you sort of sweat all of them to get the very best? Because this is a man eating fish and chips. And he's dropped them.
Clive and Neil are really on it.
Yeah, you can see
that they really, because I got them hired even though I wasn't running the agency because they'd gone from Leo Burnett's and reinvented themselves down in South Africa, and they had this kind of different approach, and these ads are just like proof of it. They had the Lurtz's archive kind of advertising skill, and they would just take any opportunity. And I mean,
do you think? I think this is something I was going to ask at the top actually, but and it goes. So VW, and because I have actually worked on it for 3 weeks recently. It's my only other time in an official capacity with Amber, which was lovely. We were working actually on VW, and I just noticed immediately this tonal thing. Yeah. And it's like something. It's so hard to get absolutely right. Yeah. Is that something you nurtured? And could you somehow explain what it is? Because I remember we were having a review, and someone said, "Yeah, it's just not." It was an electric car, but it's saying it needs to be like a VW electric car. And I went, what the fuck's that mean? I kind of knew, but then you go, well, what is it? And you go, well, we don't know. You need to do it, and then we'll know. You know that thing, like,
Oh,
I'll know it when I
can't
see it.
bear it when
But-
I hear that.
But can you science it up a bit? Are there certain things it needs to be tonally right for VW? You know, a sense of
The truth.
truth. Okay. Would
I
that-
would always say is, truism are like a human truth or a product truth.
okay.
Like, well, those were the two things that I would.
And
go
did you
by.
get those from when you read? Do you remember those great Volkswagen? Was that something you got out of it? You thought, yeah, don't be a bullshitter.
Yeah.
Because that's how they launched in America, wasn't it? With
Yeah.
these sort of, the little car that,
Yeah, I mean,
and that stayed with you.
and in a way, because it was like a quirky car, it was kind of easier. Not wanting to belittle what the brilliant work that they did, but as Volkswagen grew as a brand, it was like really quite hard to keep that truism
Yeah.
when you've got a car that is basically like everybody else's.
Yeah.
So you have to put some humanity into
personality.
it
Yeah.
that
And did
then
you?
separates.
And so through your 20 years, did that become a really well-known muscle so you could, you don't get it straight away, I imagine, and then would you see that pile of stuff and go, that's speaking to me in the right way?
Yeah, I think some teams would take a bit of time to get it.
Yeah. More than others, because like we talked.
But is that just an experience thing? Is that you need to spend some time on this brand before and see and do the research, do the hard graft before you get something away? You don't find teams coming in and getting it straight away, and they're just.
I don't remember that of somebody just coming in and just belting out. I mean, if you've got a platform idea like Surprisingly Ordinary Prices or Small But Tough, it's kind of easier.
Yeah, because you're
But
giving
if you
them a
wanna go
framework
and
to
do
start
a
with.
brand ad like Night Drive, my probably favourite,
Yeah.
commercial on Volkswagen. I mean, Sam and Shish, they've been on the brand for a while.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's an amazing bit of film.
yeah.
I mean, this one we're looking at now says Polo L. It actually just says what the product is. Polo L, only 8,150, and there's nothing else on it but a swear box. And I think they actually put the actual physical thing on it. And again, that's honesty, isn't it? You go, because the first thing is you go, fucking hell, and then they go, that's it, it's done.
Well, this is the interesting thing about
Because this guy,
they're price ads.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that happen? Winning all those
Yeah, you
awards.
don't. Yeah.
It's like they are dirty price ads, creatively told.
It's amazing because, like, you think in your mind, you go, "Oh, VW, yeah, all those amazing ads," and we're talking about outdoor, and in the print medium. And actually, through our research, we found it was a lot of price stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, the swear box thing is actually in the 100 greatest boasters of all time. It's an absolute. It's just so good. It's so annoyingly simple, and no one else would do it.
No,
they'd fuck it up. Let's keep going. This is for diesel. It's called Ellie Pump. Is that right?
Yeah.
And this is Justin and Adam, one of their best teams. Justin was on the show, and Adam's a very good friend of mine, as is Justin. But they're a brilliant team. And everything they touched was great. I worked with them at Leo's for quite some time, and I kind of got a bit of an insight into what it would have been like to do stuff like this. I mean, did this come in fully formed as well? Was it another one, or did it need a bit of massaging, or was it?
I mean,
can you remember?
With Justin, you just know that. Just the ultimate craftsman.
It's a petrol pump which looks like an elephant.
I know, and again, going back to this cat fight, it's like Ellie Pump.
Yeah,
it becomes like a really clever way of selling it to
juries.
To juries.
It is. Yeah, I can see that.
So, but it is beautiful in its simplicity, and
It's wonderful to look at. I'm just flicking through now. We've got a campaign, new Beetle Cabriolet. So, am I right in thinking Louisa was involved in this?
This was. I may have been. It was definitely Dylan and Fergal.
I think she was involved in one of them. Because I remember when I worked with her, she talked about it a bit to me. But this is really, it's that kind of, it's so weird. It just uses the car. And it sort of should be really naff in a certain way, but it looks fucking beautiful.
I know, it's like one of those ones, but the problem with this campaign was it came at the same time as Honda,
right.
which kind of slightly screwed it.
Well, it looks the same.
Awards,
I mean, it literally looks the same, doesn't it?
I mean, and it was completely, different. But
it's beautifully art. I mean, all it is basically moments of summer with the car put in as a montage.
With the top down, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a kind of montagey.
No, and it captured the car beautifully, I think.
It's beautiful looking. The bees one is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right, so now let's talk about Night Drive, which I know you have just mentioned as one of your favourite films. Mm-hmm. And it was done by
Sam and Shish.
Sam Shish, yes. And Shish has been on the show. But this is a poster, right? I'm going to read it. No school run, no commuter on the hands-free, no bus broken down, no taxi doing U-turn, no bike in your blind spot, no man selling roses, no sun in your eyes, no sweat on your back, no time to read this poster, which is quite funny, right? Tell us a bit about this.
Well, I mean, it was actually quite a good integrated campaign, actually, Night Drive. It wasn't just about the TV. There was also like people having night drives, going to the dealer and getting a car at Night Drive and stuff, and that poster and some other things.
What, so you could go and drive the car?
You go and take a test drive.
Fuck, that's cool.
I think in one dealer.
And integrated.
But it works as an integrated campaign at the Clio Awards.
Yeah.
Integrated 360, blah, blah, yeah.
But, again, this was one of those briefs that was so actually dull. Just remind people that the Golf is good to drive.
Yeah.
So that was the genius from Sam and Shish.
Because there's really nothing to say then, really, because you could say that about any car.
No.
And is that Ogilvy thing about entertain if you got nothing to say? I suppose you're saying a little bit.
I mean...
It's got a bit of, welly behind it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like one of those beautiful kind of like moments as a creative director when you just see the progress of an idea when, came in with Under Milkwood, was suddenly lifted it. I mean, the first script of Night Drive was really not very good at all. But, it's...
So how did it get to Under Milkwood? Because I never understood the leap from, a great car to drive at night, show like kind of quite cool, blah, blah. And then what was the leap to Under Milkwood?
Well, you need to talk to Sam and Shish about that.
Because it was only billboards we weren't talking about.
No, but it was just like one of those things that you just, I mean, it goes right back to when I did like a horrible phrase, tissue session with the client, and I had like the original idea of Night Drive there, and I was like, and Catherine Wolfe, the client, then said, I think there's something in this.
Right.
So I went back to the boys and said, Catherine likes this, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then it's just like that beautiful progression. And I think the fact that, a poem about a Welsh village and you're filming in LA, the ultimate driving thing,
right.
It just... all those juxtapositions were just fantastic. Yeah. And I think that
his
poster...
and the voice as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how we got Richard Burns.
Yeah. It's good, though. I mean, that's why, in a way, it's a bit of magic, isn't it? We're going to... we have got Neil and Clive, actually. A quick bit here on Borough. So this was a very sweet poster campaign.
Very funny.
Where you could experience Leighton Buzzard, home of the Barron Knights, Borough, and then visit Pitsea.
For the biggest Tesco in Essex.
Great posters, right?
Brilliant.
And we're going to close actually on yours. One of yours. And a favourite of mine and Dan's, it's the Golf New Golf Estate, and it's not got one Doctor Who, but 3 looking in as if it's the TARDIS. I was actually going to ask you, so why? I mean, I suppose why have one Doctor when you can have 3? But you could have done it at 1, right? Or is that? Were they all alive and they're all around?
Well, they were alive.
Clearly. Yeah, because they're looking astounded, aren't they? Like how much space, and it's great. But I was wondering, I suppose he would have been. I'm looking at John Pertwee. Oh Christ! Now I'm struggling. Christian, he was the vet. Should have been a vet. And Tom Baker, John Pertwee. God, neither of you two. Come on, you're charmed.
I'm not a Doctor Who fan.
Long time ago.
Anyway, it's a lovely one. And it's also shot by a friend of the show, Malcolm Venville, who Malcolm came on and did a lovely time. Malcolm's a very good friend of ours. But again, you wrote this with
Jeremy Carr.
Jeremy. Yeah. Was it one of those, and now I'm going to know what it is, running straight back to the creative director going, we've solved it? Or was it not that quick? Can you remember? Because it's
I think
simple.
it was quick.
It's so simple.
It's like, again, one of those like obvious ideas that the Cars, got
it's fucking TARDIS. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good question about why 3 instead of 1. But I think it just, why not?
Yeah.
No, it's good. Well, I suppose it accentuates.
Yeah.
Blimey, look at that, 10 to 2.
Perfect timing.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, guys.
We
did it all. We did it all without a beer as well, which is incredible.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
will. I promise to have a beer with you when I'm back on. If you'll want a beer with me. Fuck
Sure now.
Magic's gone.
Just gonna shred that idea over here.
Brilliant.
Oh God, I can't believe I put that in public.
No, it's very honestly, it's really kind of you to come in because it's quite a thing to share all that, and we should have had you in fucking years ago. The experience and the stories, and we had to cut that. For listeners, they want to know, we've cut it down. I mean, some people would come on and we
struggled.
Yeah, but this has been like
so much work you've presided over. And
we didn't even talk about in Ocean. Didn't talk about any of that. The places, other places you work. But I think more power to you. It's been such a delight. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been great. Wow, blimey.
That's good.
Can't believe I'm literally looking at the watch and we nailed it.
Yeah, look at that. See, all you just need every now and again, just a little bit of control. I know what you're like. You will write and write and write and write. And there's I look at, I feel the weight of your scripts that you Do
you know what? As an insight, even Amber said, so I was working, she went, everything's good, just a bit less. Just write a bit. I'm going, no, but I want to know. So yeah, it's there is a lot to go there. But I think you're right. I think with you cracking the whip, looking at me, and Jeremy was good. I mean, for someone who's got so much to go at, he did really well there too.
I actually like the fact that he can't remember half of that great work, because it's like, he's like, I trust my teams, I trust the people,
Yeah.
I trust my instinct to
I'm
say it's a
sure
good
he's
idea.
being a bit humble, like
I'm sure he
Mr. Suter there, but I think there is a certain caliber, a certain standard. But I think the thing is that Droga had it as well, and Hegarty, which was to pick out the gold. From all. I suppose that's what sets you apart.
That's what the real talent is, isn't it? You got. I think for me, it's just overall. I mean, 150 ideas in front of you and just going, that's the one. Yeah. Shred the rest.
Yeah, the shredder. But also, it's that kind of having a sort of biblical knowledge of what's been done, having a knowledge of what's been done on that brand, and then also it comes into it personal taste. What do you like?
And helping shape the strategy for the client.
Yeah,
they know. Being that close to a client means that you can help direct.
That's true.
Them as well as direct the work.
And also, feels like there was a healthy competition at the agency whereby it's respectful, rather than sort of
and celebrating the wins together. It's good.
So brilliant. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for coming in. That really was quite an epic couple of episodes.
Yeah, it's very good. So we'll be back again soon.
Yeah, onward and upward.
Don't forget to keep tagging us in your social posts if there's anything interesting out there. We love seeing it all coming in.
Yeah. Okay. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.